Yes.
Yes, sir. Huh?
Thank you, sir.
So, Ravi and Goswami,
Yes.
can you tell a few things about yourself?
Sir, I belong to Jaipur, Rajasthan. I have pursued MBBS from SMS Medical College, Jaipur, and I worked in government and private hospital for 4 years.
I see. And how many members do you have in your family?
Sir, we have 3 brothers, and my father and mother, my wife, and my child.
So, you are already working in a government service, isn't it?
Yes.
What makes you think of civil service then? Are you not happy with that service?
No, sir, I was very happy. But sir, I thought that I would get more opportunities to solve the problems related to health sectors. During my tenure in working in government setup, I felt.
But then do you think that you are, because generally you should also be aware that you may not really get the posting always in the health sector.
Yes, sir.
So your talent will be wasted. What do you think?
No, sir, but whenever I get the chance to do the things, I'm ready to do the things, and health is not an isolated sector. If I suppose I happen to get a chance to work in road sector, in urban transport, or that, they are all linked to health.
Since you belong to Rajasthan, right?
Yes, sir.
Why Ajmer is famous for?
Sir, Ajmer is famous for 2 or 3 things. So recently, in smart city project, it is being adopted by America, and sir, there is a dargah of Khwaja Chishti, and
Which Khwaja Chishti? What is its full name?
Salim Chishti.
No, certainly not.
Sorry, sir. Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti.
Karit hinda kotda paiya nahi padat. It's a very famous slang of Rajasthan. Karit hinda kotda paiya nahi padat. Now, one more question I'll ask you.
Yes.
Who lives if India dies, and who dies if India lives? What do you think of it?
India is a largest democracy with large number of religion, and they are living very peacefully. And if India dies, then this fabric may be not there in the world, because there is no such example in the world related to secularism and all these things.
Do you think that India may die?
So if the sectarian tendencies are there, and then India could die. So if they are not prevented, because this is the basic of the Indian philosophy in India.
In another perspective, Mr. Goswami, if India catches cold, that the entire continent sneezes,
Yes, sir.
how do you think that India may die? I don't think so.
So it is there, but the entire continent may have their interest in letting the India die, because there are people who wish to disintegrate our country. They are well in our neighborhood. They are well away from our neighborhoods.
Particularly, you are speaking about China and Britain, right? So just depending on these 2 countries, do you think that India will lose its dignity, its grace?
No, certainly not, sir. But we will try. But if India may die, if there is a chance, then they will certainly have the advantage.
Interestingly, you had mentioned your hobby is categorizing and helping sick persons.
Yes.
So, how do you help the sick persons?
Sir, this hobby I started, I learned from a man from our village. When I was child, I heard the stories how he escorted people from the village and took them to Jaipur. Jaipur is 30 kilometers far from our village. So I was quite inspired by him, and when I was in medical college, Jaipur, in SMS medical college, people used to call me for helping medical college or related to doctors, which doctor we should go for. So
Do you feel you were inspired by Mother Teresa's principles, or other lines you are interested in helping sick people?
So Mother Teresa is also has also worked in this field.
And how about this categorizing?
Yes.
Have you ever did this thing, categorizing?
Yes, sir. This hobby I didn't catch it. It catches me because in our village during our childhood, my mother is working there. My father is in government service. So she used to work at the farm, and we used to accompany the cattle to the farm, and then we go to the school, sir.
Besides your medicinal practices and besides your medicinal studies,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Can I just ask one question, related question, then you can take over. You said that your hobby is to help sick.
Yes.
Do you think as a doctor it is a duty to help the sick?
Sir, as I told you earlier that it was before I took the MBBS and I got selected. It was before it that I started to escorting the people to the Jaipur and to going to the hospitals, sir. Because the people are quite...
hobby, like the extracurricular activity is the past extracurricular activity. But is it today also?
Yes, sir. Because
So there as a doctor you should help.
yes, sir. It
treat
is
the
my
person.
duty, but sometimes the problems are far bigger than my qualities, sir. Being a general MBBS, I could not treat all the diseases. I had to advise them, and I had to escort them several times when I happened to be at home.
Like?
So like the pediatric patients, a child of 7 or 8 days old having seizure activity. So I know that there are several reasons for having seizures, but without the diagnostics and without the proper guidance, I could not treat them. So I had to escort them to the pediatrician.
In coming to grazing, cattle grazing,
Yes, sir.
there you are supposed to help your mother. So it was your job actually. Was
Yes,
it a
sir.
hobby also? How can
Sir.
it be a hobby when it is your...
Sir, as I told you earlier that it catches me. When I was helping with my mother, I started liking this thing.
What do you like in cattle grazing?
Sir, it de-stresses me, sir.
De-stress.
Yes. When I go along with them, I feel that they have basic instincts which all women should strive for, sir. Like if another cattle comes nearby them, they used to lick them, love them, and this hobby is related to the empowerment also, sir.
In Rajasthan we may be having a smaller number of cattle. But are you aware that in hill area large herds of cattle are also being grazed? How do they do it? Sheep, there are maybe thousands of sheep.
Yes.
How do they do it? Do you have any idea on that?
So I was related to cow grazing.
Cow grazing. So is there any technique, special technique that you have deploy, or just go and leave them there?
Sir, there is no special technique we deploy because the farm size is small and we used to rear 2 or 3 cows only. So we just go accompany them.
So you take them in your farm or you in the open public land? Where would you take them?
So there is a place called Gochara in village.
So that is a public pasture.
Public place.
Public
We
pasture.
have to contribute money towards that annually.
So what do they do if you pay money to the pasture? Do they improve the quality of proteinous grasses, or what they do? They just leave it like that? Whatever grows in nature, or they do some plantation also?
So there is no plantation because the facility of water is scarce, sir. We used to accompany them for 3-4 months.
But there can be less water consuming varieties of grass that can be grown, which can be
Yes,
can
but-
have more
but-
protein and that can be helpful to the animal.
That the protein grasses are grown in the separate fields nearby the wells and where irrigation facilities.
So in common pastures, you don't grow anything, you just leave it there.
Yes, and the second thing is that in rainy season the cattle are going there, and this is the same season when we can grow the grasses.
But do you know there is a study that says that leaving the animals for grazing tramples more grass than cutting it and feeding it, stall feeding. So they say stall feeding is much more economical than grazing. Would you agree with that?
So I think that there is another aspect. When we feed the cattle in open grounds, they remain more productive. They eat more when we fed them at home, because their joints are vulnerable to stick when we keep them for longer time at home.
That's all. Please continue. I just thought there was some very question.
So Ravi, you are a doctor. So do your services to the community are more required as a doctor than as an IAS officer?
So, the services are required, no doubt, at both levels. But I think that being a civil servant, I could serve them more efficiently, and with more power, I can deliver the on the issues of health-related growth. Yes.
You have heard of MDGs?
Yes. Millennium Development.
So which are the health-related MDGs?
So, there are two types of MDG. One is directly related to health, and the second is indirectly related to health. Like poverty is indirectly related to health,
Yes.
and literacy is indirectly related. Yes, sir. The directly related rules are infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate.
Maternal death.
Yes, sir. And sir,
That is very easy. There are three diseases, some diseases, specific
yes, sir.
diseases.
Sir, to control the tuberculosis and Kala-Azar and HIV/AIDS and malaria. To reverse, to halt the progress by 2050, and to reverse the trend up.
So what do you think, is India on track?
Yes, sir. In some fields it is on track, but some it is badly
Which are the ones where we are badly
on the count of maternal mortality rates.
maternal death?
Yes. On infant mortality rate, we are lagging. But on the count of AIDS and malaria and tuberculosis, we are on well on track.
What about the world? 2015.
Yes.
So what will happen in Sub-Saharan Africa?
So they have fared badly.
2015 is the target, no?
Yes. They have fared badly in these countries.
When was this adopted?
So this years.
Any guess? Can you make an intelligent guess?
1991.
1991.
Yes.
Why do you say 1991?
It is providing 25 years so that countries could
But why is it called then millennium?
in around 2000.
Okay, tell me one thing. You have done MBBS. How is there any role of Ayurveda in let us say drug discovery? And I think Jaipur is a center where there is a National Institute of Ayurveda. So does Ayurveda have a role in in making or discovering new drugs.
Yes.
You know what is NCE? What's meant by NCE? New chemical entity, new molecule, new drug.
Yes.
So does it have?
Yes, sir. There is an example that DRDO has searched in a drug. I don't remember the name of the drug in the Himalayas for the early healing of the wound, and there is a second drug of white patches on the skin,
Okay.
which has recently been introduced. It was inspired from Ayurveda.
Ayurveda. This thing.
Yes.
So, have you heard of TKDA? Traditional Knowledge Digital Library.
I have heard, but I don't remember the details.
This is the traditional knowledge relating to these, traditional systems of medicine. Can you make a guess roughly what percentage of the modern drugs would be inspired or derived from herbs, medicinal plants?
Yes, only.
Yes.
It is around 50 to 60%.
Yes. I think pretty much of that. I don't know the exact thing, but yes, it would be that. So how does it help? How do you, if you have a herb, how do you from there, how do you think you can proceed to make a molecule?
From herbs.
Yeah.
So, first I will study the name of the particular herb and check the earlier invention on it and the properties of it. Whether it can be used in particular disease or not. Then it will narrow down my concentration on some particular diseases.
Right.
And after that I will apply for the ethical committee approval to test the drug.
Okay.
Then I will apply it on the patient suffering from that particular disease and patient.
As it is, that medicinal plant.
No, sir. After extracting the
Active principle.
Whether it may be from the seed, it may be from the leaf, it may be from the root, and then I will check one group of patient would be given this drug, and the second group would be given the current treatment strategy we are applying. So in this way we would be able to judge that how much this drug is effective. And if it comes that this drug is effective, then we would search for the active ingredients which are responsible for that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then if the active ingredient chemically if we are able to identify that, sir, then we would try to make it artificially, or we would extract from naturally.
Of course, I think you did cover quite a lot, but I think you need to do some safety thing also. Then clinical trials will have to be. You have done in your MBBS, I saw pre-clinical trial. So, clinical trial when it is done, does India have a great opportunity to do the clinical trial for the world?
Yes, sir, definitely. Because the Indian gene pool is very diverse. So it offers a large opportunity to take the potential if we are able to tackle the problem of mismanagement of the clinical trials.
I'll just ask a few questions about your state. Have you heard of Bimaru states?
Yes, sir.
What are these?
So it was a designation given to some states like Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Odisha.
And Orissa was added later, is it?
Yes, it was added later.
Do you remember the name of the person who coined this term?
Right,
So that is now you talk of why these are called Bimari states. What is lacking in this?
because they are lacking in economic development and social indicators.
Economic development and social indicators.
Economic and social indicators.
Economic and social indicators. But have you heard of economic growth and economic development?
Yes, sir.
They lack in growth or they lack in
Developments.
what is the difference between the growth and the
Because sir, growth does not necessarily mean that there is development. Development.
what is the definition of growth and what is
Growth can be measured. Development
how it can be measured?
so growth can be measured like the percentage of GDP growth and
I see.
all these things. But development is a qualitative criteria. Sir.
What is the measurement of
Yes,
is
sir.
there any measurement of
Yes, sir.
development?
Yes. Human Development Index is a measurement.
mean-
And so recently, a social development index has been published, which has ranked India quite low.
Have you heard of gross happiness index?
Yes, sir. It is related to. It was proposed in Bhutan, sir.
I see. Bhutan is the father of this idea, is it?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to Bimari state, is there any health related indicator also in this?
Yes, sir. Health related is the infant mortality, maternal mortality.
All these are here. They come in the human development, is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They are part of the human development.
Life expectancy at birth.
So development talks about quality of life,
Yes, sir.
longevity,
Yes, sir.
happiness.
Yes, sir.
Growth talks about economic growth, GDP growth.
Figures.
Now we have people are talking about today Make My India, Make in India.
Yes, sir.
Now Make in India campaign is more about growth or more about development or more about both?
Sir, it targets the economy first, sir. Like providing employment, reduction of poverty through the employment generation. So the primary targets are economy, and I think it is based on Gujarat model of development, where there is economy is first target, and then hope that this.
What is the Gujarat model?
Sir, this is based on the assumption that when we start developing a region economically, the income or the things percolate down, and this improves the other indicators along with them. So we need not to take the social indicators directly. We have to keep our concentration on economy primarily.
I see. But does that percolation really work?
Sir, it depends upon the situations, sir. If the lower population is able to absorb the development, like if lower population is illiterate, it will not absorb that employment generation.
So that means the Make in India concept should be backed by a massive program on education, is it?
Yes, sir.
So is it it is being in the south as that as you see in the papers these days?
Sorry, sir.
Do you think in Make in India concept is including the development of education as such?
Sir, it is indirectly taking the skills along with skill development.
I see.
loss.
But skill development, not education as such.
They are not directly.
Not education as such.
Mr. Goswami, you're from medical sciences.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to know if there are some drugs which have been banned of late because they have been synthetic derivatives of some biodiversity products. Now there are two things that I want to know. First is why is it that these synthetic drugs derived from biodiversity products are so dangerous? Number one. And second is that which are these drugs?
Sir, the drugs probably these are the drugs which are derived from the hormones of the equine serum, and which are these are the steroid hormones which are derived from the equine serum, and which promote the growth and may danger the health also.
Okay. Can you name any one of them? Is that the only one? We are talking about biodiversity, right? That's not a biodiversity product. A biodiversity product can be something like digitoxin, digitalis,
Yes,
rosy periwinkle,
yes,
right? That's a biodiversity product.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In a similar manner, any derivative from opium, opiates,
Yes, sir. The
which is that?
morphine and heroin.
Yes. So, which is that drug we are talking about? Buprenorphine, acid, the generic name.
Yes, sir.
Has it been banned?
I didn't know.
Okay, okay. Now, there's one medical, there's one psychological disorder, if you can want to call it disorder, that's pretty much in news. And one of these selling stars came into news, she came into prominence essentially by making a bold statement to overcome her disease of sorts. Who was that?
So the psychiatric disorder.
Maybe you can go to call it a psychiatric disorder, but it's not a disorder. Almost everyone goes on to suffer from
Condition.
it at one point or another.
It's a condition.
It's a condition. It's a condition.
Angelina Jolie has gone for mastectomy and ovariectomy due to fear of the cancers.
Okay. Any Indian actress who came out boldly, essentially as a reaction to the problem that she was suffering from, psychological problem that she was suffering from.
Sir, I think it's Kalki.
Kachalin Kalke,
Yes.
not Deepika Padukone.
Yes, sir. But sir, she said that I have my choices. I want to live.
No, we don't want to discuss about whether she has a choice or not. But she was suffering from depression. Okay, how many psychological diseases, maybe some disorders, are those which can be treated with the help of medicine?
Sir, only medicine, sir.
Only medicine. No, not medicine can be one of these forms, and there's only one that can be treated with the help of medicine. But the rest of them you require counseling.
Anxiety,
Depression.
depression, anxiety. Sir.
Depression. Okay, you must have taken medical note.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What is the medicinal name of this depression? How do you call it? How do you explain it?
Medicinal name of
Yeah.
it is a cycle of manic. It may be part of manic depressive psychosis when there are cycle of mania and depression. sir. It may be isolated depression which is seen in younger ages.
The single word I am asking you, the single word in your medicinal
Language.
dictionary, medicinal language, how you call it? It is schizophrenia.
Sorry, sir, but schizophrenia is a separate disease entity which.
Other than depression.
Yes, sir. It includes.
Okay, you're from Sambar Lake.
Yes.
This is pretty interesting, right? How is it that the lake originated, and why is it so significant with respect to India?
Sir, the lake was originated due to the tectonic activities, sir.
It's very generalized term. Everything originated because of tectonic activity. Himalayas originated because of it. The Ganges plain originated out of it. The Deccan Plateau originated out of it. The lake originated out of it. It's not a very general term.
Yes, sir. Please.
Then,
The specific name is like.
okay, you in response to Sir's question on India, you gave an answer that was with respect to the condition of India. That is, we are talking about that. Is it not that in politics, everything is fair, whether you go on to be doing terrorism or do anything? You are talking about disintegration of India, that some of the neighboring countries are interested in disintegrating India. Is it that because someone is interested, they will go to disintegrate a country? Is it possible?
It is not possible.
It's not possible. That means that the statement was not
But-
correct.
But sir, if we ourselves destroy
Now,
starting.
who is the one who will not be interested in the disintegration of the country? I take your example of your body. Is it not that your body is resisting every time, every single second, lots of diseases and lots of fight back, lots of germs and viruses every time?
Yes, sir, my point was that if we are not able to protect our secularism from inside, then it is very vulnerable. Like in our body, if the body's immune system is down, like in AIDS and all this, all these bacteria and virus can attack and kill the person.
That's right, that's right. That means you want to modify your statement now.
If we are not able to protect our fabric, then others can attack us. And
of course, everyone else will go to have an interest in attacking you. Everyone else will go to have an interest in attacking you. Politics is all about it. In politics, there are only permanent interests, no permanent friends. So that is politics is all about.
Yes, sir.
What is our fabric? What is our fabric? How do you define?
So, a term which includes secularism, democracy, and we are taking care of the marginalized and poor, socialism.
So equality, equity, whatever. And then when you say secularism, do you think secularism alone is the reason, could be reason for disintegration? The entire country is divided into many things on different grounds.
Yes, sir. But
do you think language can be one?
Yes, sir. But language problem has been tackled very well during the 60s and 70s, during the anti-Hindi movement and the further developments. But secularism remains
still remains a secularism. Regionalism?
Regionalism is by the virtue of the creation of states and the structure of our nation. Regionalism is not that much big problem right now because we are integrated quite well.
So you think regionalism will not be a problem, language will not be a problem, it is the economic differences and secularism will be a problem, is it?
Yes.
So do you propose any roadmap for dealing with this kind of situation?
So like we have to take care of the poor and marginalized, and from the minority section and from the majority sections also, because they are the people who could very well be.
A hungry man doesn't know any religion.
Yes, sir.
That argument is well taken. Anything else?
Sir, regarding secularism, sir, to promote the secularism, we have to keep the status quo where we are right now. We need not to allow any changes in this particular structure, which is very well delivered on this particular front since last.
Like what you are telling us.
Sir, there was talk on the removing the word secularism from that.
The
So they causes a kind of alienation among the minorities. Why to highlight these things, sir?
That's right, but even if secularism name was there, so many rights. So it doesn't mean putting the name in the constitution, secularism.
But sir,
Will
if it is, yes, sir, if it is there and we are removing it deliberately, what is, sir, the message could be well translated that
It will give a wrong signal.
Yes, sir.
It is something else, these days people are talking about taking away rights of voting rights of Muslims. Do you have any idea what does it, according to you, how bad or how good it is?
It is very, how can we think about a democracy when people are not given the right to vote? So there is.
But suppose worst situation. Suppose the government comes with a bill that we will take away the rights. What will follow? Is there any organization or any forum where this can be still handled? Suppose, I don't know, I don't think government will do it. But suppose government
I think
goes
the
mad and
judiciary would intervene, sir.
Judiciary will control. I see.
It will not let the things.
There is another forum. Is there any other forum also which can? Suppose constitution has been changed and judiciary is not in a position to intervene. There is some international forum also.
United Nations.
Yeah. Why? Why in UN or International Court of Justice can intervene?
Because we are signatory to a lot of conventions which
Human rights declaration.
Human rights.
Okay, tell me one thing. Can you tell me something about megalomania?
Okay, I will going to give you a call. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I contact with right note.
So you concentrated more on the person who was asking the question and did not move around your head.
Yes, sir. I was so much engaged with.
Yes. So this is the two negative points. Any other negative point? Now tell me the positive points. You felt you have done that.
Sir, I could smile in front of interview board. Sir, before interview, I thought that it would not be possible for me to. Sir, first interview, sir.
Now, Mr. Goswami, we have spent about an hour or so with you,
Yes, sir.
and we find that for you it is not impossible to crack this interview. Having said that, there are a number of things you have to improve. Some of these you mentioned yourself. One is being a little more on the information.
Yes,
Now, information has to be related to what you are filled in the form,
yes,
what you have studied, and your local position. The job you do and the place you live.
yes,
So, like the lake, you have to. I mean, at least about Rajasthan, you should be thorough. What exactly you are doing. About health sector, you have to be thorough. So, some places you have deviated a little bit. And sometimes, when you find something you don't know, you need not really start attempting. Because what happens, you say something now, and after some time you may, after thought comes, you might say something and you can contradict yourself, which will be bad. So the idea in such situation is, generally there will be a glass of water in front of you in the board. Just take a sip or say take a pause, so that you allow others to think that this boy is thinking. And then when it's answered, then there will be no contradiction between two sentences. So I think that you can use the pause as a strength wherever needed. So there is no need of rushing to answer, because we know everybody is individual. You hear a new question, you have to think a little bit, as to how to answer that. Then I think we found to be little lack of confidence. I mean, you have to show a little more confidence, not overconfidence. I mean, before the board, of course, they are the givers and you are the taker. So even if you know the subject in and out, you have to say it very politely and nicely. So it has to be confident disposition that will help you more in whatever you deliver. And two more things that I would like to advise you. First thing is that your service choice. You have written P&T accounts as your fourth choice. Generally, after these three services, IAS, IFS, and IPS, generally people talk about, say, sometimes customs, sometimes they talk about audit. Also is a good service. It has come as a good service. But P&T accounts, very few people rate as the fourth. So I'm sure somebody might ask that question to you. You must be reading with a good answer. And I'm sure our friend here, he has been in the telecom sector. He may be in a position to guide a little more on that.
Why did you go?
Father.
Father is the account officer there.
And I'm interested in more in about three services. About three services, IAS, IPS, and IFS.
That's right. I mean, everybody knows you will be interested in
You
that.
can say that your father was there, and also you realize that this is the service where there is great potential for the future, because for example the Jan Dhan Yojana,
Yes.
they are having accounts, villages, in fact there is no other organization which has that kind of reach, and the post offices have to kind of provide more and more services to the people, especially for the rural people. there are branches, but everywhere the banks will not, commercial banks will not go. So you need to project everything as if you are a person who has a feel for the people, who has a connect with the people, and you want to solve their problems. So it is not so much your own personal thing, but so you can give it a good spin.
And when you say that, they are going to ask you how to turn around the postal department, because postal department is closing. So they might ask some question on that. You must be ready with some answers about how to revive the postal department if you talk.
The postal department,
No, if you say that you want to serve in
they're not closing. In fact, they had applied for a banking license.
That's what I'm saying. So those are the issues.
So you need to, of course, work on that. But it's a choice. You can, whatever you have put down now on paper is a given. This cannot change. You have to convert. You have to give this a twist so that it helps you.
So they have asked to change the preference for each and every candidate this time.
Oh, this time
service preference.
Yes, service and cadre preferences can be changed.
The cadre also you have given to hill states.
Yes, sir.
So there must be something in your mind,
Yes, sir.
but there should be a reasonable example.
इसे तो है कि जब राजस्थान में रह चुके हैं तो पहाड़ियों में जाएंगे, वादियों में घूमेंगे, गाने गाएंगे वहाँ पर. That was the reason. है ना? I knew that.
Are you going to change your preferences?
No, sir.
No. Then it's okay.
So then I think then you should be ready for such this question. And we were discussing about the about making this grazing on all those cattle and all. I think when you say that you want to your hobby is to grazing cattle,
Yes.
I think you have to have some you have to add some value to that. Relate to certain bigger things. Like Mr. Farooq will elaborate a
See,
little more.
I would say it's a very good hobby you have written. Because after all, why is nature, people, bird watching is a hobby. What do they do? Why is bird? Here, you are grazing the cattle, you are not only grazing the cattle, you are connected to the village and village activities. You are absorbing how things move in a village. So you have very intimate knowledge in that sense of whatever happens in the village. And you can use that in your postings in your career, because as sub-collector or sub-divisional magistrate or collector or DM or commissioner, you remain connected to the grassroots. So I think what you have to project is your connection with the grassroots and how you want to continue to serve those people. Even your PHC, you are working in a PHC. If you have something positive to show there, how the attendance has come. If the doctor is good and is attending, then the per day how much is there in your PHC? 50, 40?
When I went there, it was around 20 because the post was vacant for 1 year.
Don't give this information. This is not necessary.
But it increased a lot. Then when I left after 2 months, it was upgraded in CHC.
So just say that you went there. This was earlier, it was this much, and after that we increased.
When you left, how much was it?
So it was there were two factors, sir. One was the presence of doctor, and second was the Nishulk Dawai Yojana.
So your absence, your presence, how did it make a difference? You have to show your strength, na? Because if you were there, you were available more than other doctors are
So
available.
it may be counted as self-projection.
No, it should not be aggressive self-projection.
Yes.
But you can always say
It was a growth, sir. I mean, before
I'll tell you, okay. If you say it out of context, it will look as a self-projection. But if you find an opportunity
Yes, sir.
to push this in, say this, because this is a big plus. There is you prepared for IAS and other things, but while you are working there, you actually the patient attendance has gone up from 20 to 40 or 50 or whatever per day. So,
and positive reason you can say you spend more time on that because you are young and you are energetic, you have time to give, you like the job as you are given in a hobby. So that's why that was one. And added to that was a particular scheme for free medicine that also helped me. And so that more people came. So that is how you can give a positive twist to the entire answer.
Yes.
So the same answer that you have given, but giving a positive twist, it will make impact on the minds of the interviewers.
Can I say conclude? See, I'm just putting everything in short.
Yes.
One of these, not exactly a problem, it has been a characteristic. Maybe that you can want to improve on this characteristic a bit dull, but you can want to be a bit more cheerful. आपको भी हंसता हुआ चेहरा पसंद आता है ना? आपको भी हंसता हुआ चेहरा पसंद आता है ना? ठीक ठीक। और आप भी जब वादियों में घूमे तो खुश रहेंगे, तो जब वोट पे जाए तो खुश कर दीजिए। कितनी सिंपल बात है, right? Second is that you require to brush up your information about the state, particularly Ensemble Ias and region. That's not excusable. Okay. Analytical ability you require to improve it a bit more, talk on more. Confidence level, maybe that is you have a confidence, but then you are not projecting it that you are very highly confident. Right. Positives are that you are a good learner. You are connected to grassroots level. And I don't know whether you know it or not. Doctors are a preferred route in civil services right now. Right. Now, some suggestions that we are summing it up, all of it. When you require to brush up on your leadership ability so that the board thinks that you are in a position to take some initiative. They are able to convert certain characteristics of yours into something like a positive aspect, like what Sir told you. That is it's a big advantage that you have grazing as your hobby. You can go to convert it enormously to your advantage. Then, of course, you require to lead the interview sometime. For example, growth and development. The moment you want to use this word, you know that you are in a foreign trap. And you are not able to find a convincing answer on both of them. Right? You realize that part. Of course, P&T accounts talked about it, that is how is it that you can go to go ahead and use your background to your advantage, and you need some more.
And then if nothing comes, you can say, I didn't know, having village background, I didn't know the kind of details of various services. So whatever friends advise, I
yes, that is very honest.
But that is the last, that is the worst answer to give. But instead of saying no, I don't know what I have written, at least this can be some escape.
Yeah. And
This
also,
is your
this is one
analysis,
thing,
right? We're going to give you this analysis to you, but you just have to acknowledge that part, right? Acknowledge it. We'll go.
ये don't say I am interested only in 3 because हाँ वो जो है that might not go down. Sometimes people may be from other services.
Since you belong to Rajasthan, board may be interested in asking you 2 more things. Now you have Colonel Todd. Have you ever heard of Colonel James Todd?
Yes.
What is his book's name? Annals and Antiquities of Rajasthan. ठीक है, एक तो ये हो गया, and दूसरा regarding Sufism, because Ajmer Sharif is your Nanihal. So naturally इन 2 चीजों पर आप खूब contemplate कर लीजिएगा और तैयार कर लीजिएगा. Rajasthan, maximum questions they can ask you on Rajasthan. Number 1, number 2, Colonel Todd of course in the picture, and Ajmer Sharif, that is Sufism.
Of course, that way we can move to suggest you a lot of things. For example, Luni River goes to originate from Anna Sagar. Right? You need to know the problems associated with it possibly, because when anyone is happening from, anyone happens to be in Rajasthan in the board, they can go to that detail as well. Right? But we're going to talk about one-to-one on that count at any point.
Just started Rajasthan since last 2 days.
Right.
Ensemble Ias, I read Ramsar Convention in wetlands, all these things related to salt.
Just go on to get yourself attached to the lake.
Okay,
I mean, factual part is completely different. I mean, you are talking about academic. I am talking about that your attachment towards the lake and Luni's Anna Sagar. Right? We're going to share this information with you.
So best of luck to you. Best of luck to you, man.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.